He plunged through the undergrowth, hip deep in the marshes, dived headlong into the deep water, heedless of sharks or crocodiles. Within the volcano lay many secrets sought by men and women in the pursuit of power. Amongst those, the votaries of Skelos. These people believe they have found the legendary well of Skelos and serve to protect the secrets within from outsiders, whilst trying to accrue that knowledge for themselves. Led by Vathis, the votaries devote their time to listening to the well, attempting to decipher the ancient whispers and learn of the wretched sorceries this place may hold. They dedicate themselves to studying the Book of Skelos and preserving the last remnants of the serpent men living within the well. Adapting to the burning environment with blackened cloth and reptilian scales, the votaries made the scorching caldera their home in their continuous search for power. Amongst them, the disillusioned Aradis. Racked with disappointment in his search for knowledge and power, he had followed in the footsteps of Zalthar, the child of Tyros and Telith, for years. Perhaps Zalthar himself had attempted to glean the knowledge of the well. Nobody seems certain if he was successful or not, but whatever happened to him, he's not around anymore. Through his toil in the volcano, Aradis hoped to come across power, knowledge, something he could cling on to make his years of dedication to the Well of Skelos and Zalthar's legacy worth it. He did not simply want power, no, he needed it. Driven by a ferocious lust for knowledge, Aradis wasn't sure how much he could take, living on the edge of his breaking point. In his torturous dreams, Aradis was visited by a deity. A demon, he thought, but it soon revealed what Aradis was looking for. He was shown true happiness and offered purpose, and as Sobek, the Crocodile God, shed his skin, Aradis finally felt value and meaning, as if the prospect of that knowledge he lusted for was now even closer than ever. He was promised just that, if he were to gather more followers to offer praise to Sobek. Dreams have driven many a man insane, especially dreams of gods and demons. Instead, Aradis felt a new purpose, tempting him away from his votaries and towards the promise of a new beginning. With that, he gathered his obsidian sword, some supplies and some star metal, and as dawn broke once more over the frozen north, he began his trek southwards in search of a refuge for his plans. Reaching a cave in the northeastern desert, Aradis settled upon this as the home for his band of followers. He named it Zalthar's Refuge in respect of its namesake, and began to establish the Cult of Sobek. Crafting his own set of armour using bleached scales and star metal, the flesh would grant the protection of Sobek upon him, and would separate his worship of Sobek from the reptilian armour of the votaries he had left. The Cult of Sobek, much like the votaries, would endeavour to gather knowledge and power through the musing and secrets of the world, but they owed no loyalty to the serpent men within the well. Whether it was animosity or apathy, the Well of Skelos had disappointed Aradis in his search for knowledge. Sobek offered so much more, if Aradis could meet his requests. Over the coming months and years, the cult began to slowly grow in numbers. As more exiles joined the ranks of the cult, they began to populate the expansive cave even more. They gathered resources, began to build rudimentary structures, and even carved out an enormous statue of their Crocodile God. Now the cult thrives within Zalthar's Refuge. Growing their numbers even more, the cult is closer to success than ever before, and as Aradis notes down in his own musings found on the platform behind him, he recognises that the path to knowledge is open and within arm's reach. The cult has developed its own structure and hierarchy. Aradis is firmly at the helm with his disciples below him, warriors below them, and the fangs of Sobek below them. The cult is combat ready and fight with the fury of the beast they worship. Whilst many may have put Aradis's beliefs and his dreams down to insanity fostered in the heat of the volcano, there appears to be some credence to his thoughts, as man and crocodile live peacefully within the refuge. Some of the cultists, though, appear to worship Aradis as much as they do Sobek. As the messenger of Sobek on Earth, he has perhaps cemented himself as a messenger, a prophet of sorts, and perhaps the cultists worship him as much as they do their Crocodile God. In his writings, Aradis recognises that soon the Cult of Sobek will move into the north. Following in the footsteps of Zalthar, they will once again head straight to the Well of Skelos, though Aradis writes that this time it will not be out of loyalty. Perhaps they are destined to enter the well and slay the Serpent Men, or perhaps they have learned better how to divine knowledge from the Whispers. The answer is clear only to Aradis, who soon will lead his cult into the frozen wastes. Thank you for watching. The Cult of Sobek are an interesting group that are very easy to miss, and considering I only really looked into them because of their cool armour design, I think I managed to unravel an interesting story of the search for knowledge and perhaps another god playing his card behind the scenes.